ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive.
It is Monday, March 16th. Your drive begins now on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Our text line this hour brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Coming up in the next few minutes, we're going to be talking to the brand new coach of Shawnee State University's football team, Mark Snyder. He's got the task of building a football program. So we're going to talk to Coach Snyder in just a few minutes, but we've got plenty of time for you. And again, that text line one more time, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Hopefully later this week as well, we're going to either talk to head coach Julie Folks or we're going to probably head over to Marshall, and there's going to be, of course, a media availability, I'm sure. We'll hear from Coach Folks sometime here in the next few days because the Thundering Herd receiving a bid to the WNIT. That's a good start for this program. You get to the NCAA tournament a couple years ago, last year, sort of a reset, and then this year, you were close. You had some opportunity to make it to the NCAA tournament. Didn't absolutely fall too far from the finish line, but still disappointing result in the conference tournament in Pensacola. But the good news is that the Thundering Herd did get a bid in the WNIT. So we'll hear from, hopefully, Coach Folks later this week. I'm looking forward to that because the good news is the Thundering Herd get a first-round bye. First-round bye, and then Marshall will play host to either Ohio or UMBC. And then if Marshall can get past those two teams, the winner of that game, which will be up in Athens on the 19th, Marshall would potentially face off against Wake Forest, possibly Youngstown State. There's also a chance that the Thundering Herd could host a couple of games. There's a lot going on that's still in motion. We're going to get the details later this week. But the Thundering Herd in the WNIT. And so Marshall would play. Second-round games are scheduled between the 22nd and the 24th. I'm leaning, without any prior knowledge to anything, I'm leaning towards maybe a Monday game because, of course, Marshall and WVU are going to meet next week, Tuesday night. We're going to have that game for you here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. So we've got the baseball game on Tuesday. I would think if the schedule allows, we're going to have basketball either earlier that day or the day before. All of that's up in the air. But the good news is that the women are going to be playing some postseason basketball. So obviously, I know you're excited. I'm not even going to ask the question, are you excited? This is good for the women's program. So good job for the ladies. They get to continue and maybe get a few games in, get a little bit more postseason experience. And I know there have been teams that have turned down bids on the men's side to the NIT. Of course, Selection Sunday was yesterday, and that means we're going to, of course, have all the games coming up. We're going to have the first four. That's coming up tomorrow and on Wednesday. So we'll have those first four matchups, and that'll be a 6:30 airtime Tuesday and Wednesday. And then, of course, your Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. This is going to be wall-to-wall all-day basketball. Great thing is, if you can't watch, you can listen, and we'll have the games. That'll be also on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930, and on 1340, ESPN 1340. I was almost going to say 93.7 The Dog because I'm so used to promoting Marshall on The Dog. But no, it's going to be on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930 and Cat Sports 93.3 and 1340. So if you can't sneak away from where you're working, and I know some people do take days off. You'll take Thursday and Friday, sort of a planned sick day. Head up to your favorite, wherever your favorite place may be, and sit and watch the games all day. I know some people will probably be, I don't want to say shortchanging the company by taking those long extended lunches. I'm not going to name names, but there's always somebody in that office, in your office, wherever you work. There's going to be somebody that's going to maybe have an extended lunch, or they're going to be a little absent for a while as they are watching the games, getting into all the excitement. Of course, UK is going to play on Friday. So I know a lot of people personally that will just be checking out on Friday morning, afternoon for the Kentucky Wildcats. So we'll get into the bracket closer to the start of the tournament. I really want to focus today on Coach Snyder. He's coming up in the next few minutes. Also, I want to focus on what's up with Marshall women's basketball getting a bid to the WNIT. And unlike other tournaments, I don't feel like the WNIT is, I don't want to say it's a step down like some of those tournaments have felt, because there's going to be 3 tournaments now. We've got, for the men's side, we got the NCAA tournament, we've got the NIT, and then we got the Crown. The Crown, I think, is set up for a little bit more success. It's a quick deal. You got 10 teams total. But you don't have the CIT. We don't know if that's coming back. And the CBI couldn't put it together this year. And I honestly think that's for the best. Five tournaments. 5 tournaments did not make sense to me. You have the NCAA tournament. That's the goal for every team playing Division I basketball. And then, if you don't get in for whatever reason, I think you have a really good experience in the NIT. The NIT has been around longer. It's a storied tournament. It used to be the tournament. Dan D'Antoni, when he was the coach at Marshall, would talk about his time in the NIT. Still has fondness for it. The NIT, sure, it's the secondary tournament, but it's a good tournament nonetheless. And then I'm interested what the Crown's doing. I'm actually a little sold on that, just a little bit, because it seems laser focused. And it's a quick deal. It gives some teams opportunities to go out and compete. No harm there. It's just when we started getting into the CIT, the CBI, it just felt like, okay, we're just extending bids for no reason other than we think we can make some money here. And if you're in the tournament, maybe you're excited. I know when Marshall won the CIT, there was some excitement there. It's because, of course, you were fans of Marshall. John Elmore. Especially John. Everybody loves Johnny Baskets. And so I get it. I get why it was fun at the time. But ultimately, I think if we're down to 2 and throw the Crown in as a third, I think we're okay. I don't want to see the NCAA tournament expanded. I don't think that's the answer. I think 68 is fine, with Miami getting a play-in game, even though that's not what it's called, as an 11 seed, getting the play-in slot in the first 4. Ultimately, I like what we've got this year. The NIT will be interesting enough. The NCAA tournament will be interesting. The Crown will be a quick one-off. That'll be interesting. And for the women, women's sports, the WNIT is a good tournament. And it gives opportunity where a team might have fallen short, deservingly so, still didn't get in. And so here you go. Here's sort of a redemption arc a little bit. I'm okay with NCAA NIT. I'm okay with that sort of relationship between tournaments. But we'll talk about basketball later. We'll get your thoughts on it. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Mark Snyder, the new head coach of Shawnee State University, when we continue on this edition of Your Drive.
At Poca Valley Bank, a handshake can still mean the start of a great relationship. We've been greeting customers with a handshake since 1908. Why settle for less? If you're purchasing your first home or planning for your future, Poca Valley Bank is here to support you with personalized service and local expertise. They are your trusted advisors. Why settle for less when you can experience banking with a team that truly cares? Poca Valley Bank, where relationships matter. Visit PocaValleyBank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
You've cut back on everything and you're still coming up short at the end of the month. Give your local State Farm agent a call for a free discount double check. They'll show you how something as simple as combining car and home policies can save you hundreds of dollars a year. Being there to help keep more of your money is why your local State Farm agent is here. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
In Huntington, Ray Crabtree, 304-736-8181. In Milton, Russ McRae, 304-743-9318. And in Lavallette, Jason Elkins, 304-529-7555.
Looking for midweek fun? Head to Frank's Place, where every night's a party. Wednesdays are full of brains and brews with trivia night. Grab your crew and show off what you know. Thursdays, crank it up with Singo Bingo. Music meets bingo for prizes and laughs. Then Fridays, we hand you the mic for karaoke night. Sing your heart out and start your weekend right. The fun never stops at Frank's Place. Great drinks, great friends, and good times. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check them out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Hi, this is Dave Wilson, host of Metro News Talkline, and you're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Thank you, Dave. Don't forget, Metro News Talkline back tomorrow, 10:06, right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. We'll open the text line back up in just a few minutes. Brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Well, a few months ago, we found out that Shawnee State would be getting into the football business. And then we find out a few days ago that it's going to be led by one of our own. Mark Snyder has taken the position as the first ever Shawnee State University football coach, and he joins us now on the program to tell us more about it. Coach, good talking to you again, and congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on, guys.
It's been an interesting journey to watch Shawnee State just announce, hey, we're going to do this. And for you to take that job, it lends it a lot of credibility in my mind. What was it about Shawnee State that maybe convinced you that, hey, I think they're going to do it right and I want to be a part of that?
Well, it started with the alignment from the president to the athletic director, to the football program, and to see the commitment that President Brom and AD Cadogan have started on this journey long before I even came into the picture. I came in on a tail end somewhere early January and showed me their vision and did a lot of homework and everything looked really, really good. I mean, these guys, they're very, very serious about football. And, Paul, I'm from that area. So I've known that we needed football in that area for a long time. And to see that they want to do it right and jump right into Division II, and the funding seems to be there, and the future looks very, very bright, and it was very exciting for me and my family.
Would you have given this maybe just a glancing look if this was anywhere else other than right in your own backyard?
Probably not, to be quite frank with you. Probably not. But knowing the school, knowing the area, knowing the people, some things have changed in college football with the portal. I think it might be a little bit easier with the startup program. You 3-4 years ago, I mean, you're looking at some time to have to build a program, to put a product on the field that people will be excited about. But in today's world, I mean, it seems like every year everybody's got a new football team, and that was a part of it as well.
So what went into your thought process once you were really considering this, knowing that you're not just taking over a program, you're not coming in continuing a program, you're the first ever Shawnee State football coach. And so everything you do will be the first ever. And it doesn't feel like you're building it completely from scratch, but in a sense, you're setting the stage for what's to come in the future. You are building the foundation. And was there some doubt in your mind, hey, do I really want to take on this challenge? Or did you think, hey, that's a challenge I really want to be on the ground floor. I want to build a program.
But I found that the most exciting. I get to put my fingerprints on the program for eternity, and everything is going to be a first. The rivalries, the stories, we get to write the first chapter. And as you get a little bit older in life, that was so exciting to me. And then get to build. I've lived a lot of places and built a few houses in my time, and get to build another house. Yep, this time it gets to be a football facility. And all of that combined along with the leadership, man, it was just, the good man above was at every turn was telling me to take it. So we did.
Mark Snyder's with us, the first ever Shawnee State University football coach. And when you start really getting your hands on what this is going to look like, this program, how much control do you really have of this? I mean, are there some things that, okay, you mentioned already in place, but, when you look at putting this together, how much of this is, I'm in there, 24/7, I'm building this. Is it basically from the ground up? Is there some things already in place and you don't have to worry about? What's that process going to look like, or at least
we'll
anticipate?
We'll see as we go. I mean, like I said, the leadership, this was being discussed long before Mark Snyder, and plans were in place long before Mark Snyder come along. I was just the ending part of it, and now we start to build. And again, like I said, the leadership is incredible. I mean, I love the vision, and I understand there's going to be some no's along the way. I get that, but I do know this in the bottom of my heart: if they can do it, they're going to try to do it. And I feel like that they want a first-class program. I've always tried to be part of first-class programs, and I just felt that all those things were in place. Everything aligned as we went through this. And now here we are, and we get to start, and we are excited, to say the least.
So you hit the ground running. What's day 1 through, say, day 30 look like so far?
I'll tell you. Let's talk again in a couple months. Let's talk. This is the first time I've been through this. So, and I've been doing some research, obviously, with startup programs and talking with some people. We'll see. We'll see what the next couple months hold, or the next 6 months or 8 months, what that looks like. But again, that's part of the excitement. That's what makes this thing so exciting, is the build, right? You're not just building a roster. You're building a lot of things, and I thought that was really cool. And again, how many people – I've been doing this, Paul, 37 years. I don't know a lot of people that get to say that they started a program and had their fingerprints all over it and leave a legacy. And guess where I'm leaving the legacy at? My home, which makes it even more exciting.
Of course, for those who maybe don't know, I don't know who that person would be, but a South Point, Ohio native, of course, Ironton High School graduate. You have a long list of honors to your name. Mark Snyder with us, the first ever Shawnee State University football coach. So, yeah, that means recruiting, right? You got to go out there. You got to start talking. You can't sign a class right away, but the target date is fall 2028. I'm sure you've already got that in your calendar, circled, ready to go. What's been the response so far? I'm sure closer to home, a lot of people are excited, especially in your own backyard. But what's been the overall response from people that trust, or have just reached out?
Well, it's been tremendous. I mean, they did a great job with the press conference and the release. And there's been, we're talking nationally, not just locally, nationally, for a Division II program. It's been overwhelming, and that's going to help in recruiting. I'm excited to get back and reconnect with coaches in that area. Young people in that area should be excited. In West Virginia, Wayne, Cabell, Kanawha, and in Ohio, there's about 7 counties, and over in Kentucky, Greenup and Boyd, and the players should be excited because we're not competing with anybody. There's 6 schools. We're right in the epicenter of 6 schools, major schools: Kentucky, Marshall, OU, Ohio State, Cincinnati, all surround us, and we're not competing with them for recruits, right? We're the Division II level, so we're going to be the only show in town at that level, and that provides a ton of opportunities. And again, growing up there, guys, there's a lot of players that were better than me that never got to play college football for whatever reason. An inch too short, a hand size a little bit not as long as it should be, whatever the case may be. We're going to be able to provide opportunities for kids to pursue their dream of playing college football. And that excites the heck out of me.
And kids that maybe don't have that opportunity elsewhere can find that in their own backyard as well. I think I know the answer, obviously, but I'm going to ask it anyway. You feel still that there needs to be more opportunity. There's probably more players, more kids out there that don't have opportunities, and this course obviously helps fill that gap a little bit.
It does, and especially in our area, especially in our area. Our area is hard to get to. I've been at obviously a lot of major college programs, and it's difficult to get to our area. Back in I remember when I was in high school, they had fly into Cincinnati to come to Ironton to see me, or Columbus. A lot of people don't even know we have an airport in Huntington. A few know we have them in Charleston. It's just not. Coaches go to populated areas to recruit, and I think our area has always been really under recruited, and I get a chance to change that.
You're also not going to be doing this in obscurity because you're going to be in the Mountain East Conference, and that is a league that is tremendous in its growth, development. It's made a name for itself. So you're not going to be doing this in obscurity. People are going to see you and know about you.
There's no doubt, and we're excited. That was part of the decision too. I know a little bit about the conference, not a lot, but a little bit more than I know about other Division II conferences, and that was exciting as well. To travel to some of the venues we get to go to. I know a lot of folks there. I know a lot of folks there from my time at Marshall and playing at Marshall and being from that area. That's pretty cool. That was exciting as well.
So, of course, you get to stay a little bit closer to home. You get a tremendous lead to compete in. I know that there's going to be a lot of talent that you're going to be able to draw from as far as the region's concerned. How far, how wide will you be looking for players right now, at least in this startup phase of this program?
Well, we've got a plan. We'd be here for a long time. I've put together a plan. I've had a month or two, but we're going to start locally, no doubt about it. Like I said, we're going to draw, a 75-mile circle or around Portsmouth, 175 to 100-mile circle. And my goal, not that I can do it, but my goal is to get a staff and get out and visit every single high school coach in that circle and show our face and let them know that we're playing football. And, things like you guys having me on sure does help. And let them know that Shawnee's playing football and come play for us.
Mark Snyder's with us, now the first ever head coach of Shawnee State University. And maybe to that point, as far as recruiting is concerned, I've had conversations with high school coaches over the years. It's been a blessing in disguise for college with the transfer portal. Some things are good, some things are not, as all things are. But one thing that has felt like it's really hurt high school is that now coaches are looking at the transfer portal more than they are the high schools. Where you're at right now, you've probably got the advantage. You can do that as well, but you can really hit the ground running, as you just mentioned, and talk to these high school coaches. And there's nothing wrong with Division II. I think there's sometimes an unfair stigma about the level and competition at Division II. There's nothing wrong with the quality. It's really good.
It is, and that's a great point. I mean, that was another reason that went into the decision. As you look at major college football right now, especially with what Indiana did this year, everybody's going to want an older football team, which means transfer portal. The quality of high school player you can get nowadays is like it's never been before. The competition is just not there because everybody is going to go, has been going to that transfer portal, right? And that just opens up. At this level, I don't have to deal with NLI, your mid-majors are going to struggle because, even in the portal, you got to come up with dollars, and to try to compete. At this level, I don't know that that's the case. We get it's like good old-fashioned college football. We get to go out and recruit. I think that, like I said, the level of high school player that we can get at the Division II level has increased tenfold with this transfer portal. And, then once we get outside the region of area there at home, the state of Ohio is incredible when it comes to football talent. I've recruited all over the United States of America, and Ohio's in the top 6, right? So we're going to recruit Ohio, and then we'll look at the portal and use 3 decades of connections to supplement our recruiting. So there's kind of our game plan for the first couple of years and see what happens.
Our guest is Mark Snyder. He has been named the first ever Shawnee State University football coach. Of course, you'll be coaching in a football crazy city like Portsmouth. Of course, the Portsmouth Spartans. I'm telling you right now, you look at that stadium, Portsmouth Spartan was once you've got so much history there. You have so much history there, and this is just going to add to it. What's What do you think that feeling is going to be like when you finally, for that first game? I know we're looking way ahead, but finally you're able just to walk on that field, a place where Spartan Stadium used to have what came to be an NFL football team, so much history there, and you get to make that history as well. I'm probably sure it's too soon to ask, but have you visualized it yet, just to kind of see what that might look like as you try to get this thing put together?
I have. There's no doubt about it. There's another factor that went into it. I mean, just the tradition of growing up in that area and knowing about the Detroit Lions, the Portsmouth Spartans, right? How cool is that? And on my campus visit, we went to the stadium and we spent a lot of time in there. I did. I spent a lot of time in there reading up on just the history. It's incredible. And, a crazy story, my college roommate, Tony Peterson, who played at Marshall, his grandfather played for the Portsmouth Spartans. And he sent me a picture the other night of the team in 1936. So cool. I mean, just history. It's going to be really, really neat. And I know for the older folks in the area, it's going to be really exciting for them.
Yeah, and the benefit is the Portsmouth Trojans are going to be loving every minute of this as well because, there's an opportunity for a lot of improvement, a lot of development that's going to improve, obviously the playing experience for everybody. There's the economic development portion of it. There's the entire enrollment. More people are going to know about Shawnee State now, and it might be a nice little hidden secret, not much longer if it was. So there are a lot of great things that are going to happen because of this, and you're going to be right there in the middle of it.
And that makes it so exciting. You're hitting on so many great points. These are all the things as we sat down and talked about this opportunity that all came to the forefront. And this is the reason that we accepted this job, and very, very excited to do it and very humbled to do it.
Think Peterson would be okay as an offensive coordinator? You maybe
Yeah, I talked to Tony the other night, and he just went to Northern Illinois as the offensive coordinator. He's going to retire and go play golf. And Rob Harley, who played for me at Ohio State, talked him into not going into retirement and coming out there and helping him.
You say you got some names you can call. I'm sure you've already got the text. Hey, Coach, what do you think? I'm available.
Yes, sir. Yep. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've been on the phone quite a bit since that press conference. As a matter of fact, probably 7 hours a day. And I'm reconnecting with, again, once we got some time, but, if there's a 2 at Georgia or a 2.5 that wants to play football, Kirby send him right down to Shawnee State, and Kirby knows I'll take good care of him, and he'll have a chance to go to the NFL because of my connection. And I think that's the credibility that I hope that I'm going to bring to this program is that, if a youngster plays really well for us and his dream was to play at The Ohio State University and they were going to pay him, I'm going to help that kid go. I am. And in return, I would hope that Ohio State has a kid that wants to play that probably not going to have the opportunity, come down here with me. And so, I've been on the phone quite a bit.
Sounds like you've got the game plan already, and that's a great point because of the fact that now there are more opportunities, someone who can show that they belong maybe at the next level. They've got someone with your experience at all levels of football, not just Division I. You have coached at different levels, different leagues all across America. So you know a lot about a lot, and there you go. I think that's a home run for you, and it's a win-win for everybody.
Yes, sir.
Our guest, Mark Snyder, the first ever head coach of Shawnee State University. Enjoy the honeymoon. Of course, in 2028, that's when they start asking you the tough questions when it comes to game day, right?
Oh, yes, absolutely. The honeymoon is a little bit long. Typically you get hired in January, and then you have the honeymoon period, and then, the questions start coming in August. Hey, we got a little bit longer honeymoon here. This is going to be pretty nice.
Enjoy it. I'm excited. This is great because, again, I've known kids that have not had opportunities, and this is a great opportunity for them to continue their career and maybe make it to the next level if they want to. So this is fantastic.
Absolutely. And that's the reason I got into coaching, because somebody did it for me, right? Right there at Marshall University. And I get to continue that here at Shawnee State.
Mark Snyder, our guest, now the first ever head coach of Shawnee State University. Coach, thanks for doing it, and hopefully we'll get you back on real soon.
Well, that'd be great, guys. I'd love to come back on.
Anytime. Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
That's Mark Snyder. He's now going to be the head coach of Shawnee State. They get underway in 2028, and I'm looking forward to it. And a lot of great points there. This is just another opportunity for kids in their area, kids in the region, to make it and have an opportunity to maybe improve themselves, develop under a coach that has known a lot of football over the years, seen it all, done it all, and possibly make their way to the next level. So this is a win-win for everyone. We will get your text, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Mike Rowe here with another random fact. Those cracks on your walls aren't just cosmetic. They could mean your home is sinking. Whether it's drywall cracks, exterior cracks, or sticking doors or windows, do yourself a favor, call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys, and they're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to stabilize your foundation. Baker's Waterproofing and Basement Authority of West Virginia are now Groundworks. Schedule a free inspection.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Save big money on your next painting project. Now at Menards. From your kitchen and bath to doors and trim, and even your ceilings, Dutch Boy has the perfect choice for your painting projects. Dutch Boy's Durafighter is a tough paint and primer that provides great scrub resistance and durability. Save big on Dutch Boy paints. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for more great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Our Kindred Communications family of stations reminds you of the need for blood donations to the Red Cross. Blood is always needed. It may save your life or the life of a loved one. This reminder is brought to you in part by
Genesis Oxygen and Home Medical Equipment, serving Ohio, Kentucky, and West Virginia since 1977. Oxygen, CPAP, wheelchairs, beds, wound care, and more. Most insurances accepted, 24/7 emergency services. Genesis, a world of difference. Go Mart. Go for good times. Go for Go Mart.
It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
Serving my country required sacrifice. Sacrifice that changed my life forever. I remember the day I came home. Because of my injuries, this house wasn't right for me anymore. I remember the narrow doorways, the small bathrooms, the shelves out of reach when in my wheelchair. Every day was full of obstacles. I felt trapped. I remember a better day, the day my family received a specially adapted custom home from Homes for Our Troops. That day changed everything. Now we have a safe and accessible home to enjoy the freedom I fought for. This place, our home, is exactly what we needed to rebuild our lives.
Homes for Our Troops builds and donates specially adapted custom homes nationwide for severely injured post-9/11 veterans and enables them to rebuild their lives. Join our mission at hfotusa.org.
Oh, hi. Do you know what this is the sound of? It's the sound of me getting rewarded for doing my part to prevent wildfires. See, right now I'm getting a big, remarkably heartfelt bear hug from Smokey Bear. Thanks, big guy. And now we're shaking. Okay. First, I made sure there were no low-hanging branches when I set up my campfire. Hey, Smokey, let me down for just a second. I need to make sure everyone can hear this. There we go. Then, when we were packing up to leave, I drowned out my campfire, stirred it, drowned it out again, and then made sure to feel it if it was cold. Oh, Smokey Bear really loves it when you do that, don't you, Smokey? Oh, he lets his hugs do the talking. Visit SmokeyBear.com to learn tips to prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
You're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
We continue on with this Monday edition of Your Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Our text line is now open, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We've got one weather update to tell you about. Of course, if you are listening to the show live, you know that the weather is kind of nasty outside right now. This is, March 16th. And we get the White Death once again upon us here. Because of the weather, Marshall's baseball game at number 15 Kentucky has been postponed because of the weather conditions. Of course, the Thundering Herd swept Georgia State over the weekend. So the Thundering Herd baseball team off and running in conference play, 3-0. Marshall softball gets the series win, goes 2-1. And if you're looking at the RPI right now, Marshall softball, League put this out earlier because softball is really good in the conference. Marshall's RPI is 33rd in the country right now. Hopefully that will continue. But Marshall getting the win over Georgia State, 7-1. So the Herd wins 2 out of 3 in that series. NCAA basketball tournament, of course, Selection Sunday was yesterday. Kentucky is the 7th seed in the Midwest region. We'll take on the 10th seed Santa Clara, and that'll be Friday afternoon, and we'll have that game for you on 92.7 and 98.5 The Planet, and Cat Sports 93.3 and 1340. Ohio State takes on Howard Thursday at 12:15 in the East Regional in Greenville, South Carolina. Let's go to the text line, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-80. Say that again, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Texter says, Coach Mark Snyder has no wisdom to share. His record reflects that. Very poor programming. Come on now. Come on. Come on. Really? I don't accept that. I don't accept that. No. He has no wisdom to share. He definitely has his hands full building a program, and I think he's going to be in a good situation. 304-396-TALK if you agree with that. 304-396-8255 if you disagree with that. Look, you got someone who has coached all over the country and I think has learned from his experiences at Marshall University and elsewhere, and now has an opportunity to come out, put it all together. You got a couple years to start building this thing out. You're at the Division II level. It's going to be easy to have a spot for kids that maybe can't get on at the Division I level or want to play, want to have an opportunity to maybe show that they belong at the Division I level. He's got a lot of contacts. He's got a lot of people that he can call up. I think it's going to be a good fit, and I'm excited to see what happens. So, no, I'm not going to slander the coach for that. Absolutely not. I appreciate Coach for joining us today. But if you think that a coach stays static, you might be right, but I also think that you go through experience and you have some success and you can build on that. And if you have situations where you faltered, you can grow from that. And to be honest, we're all going to stumble somewhere, somehow, sometimes. We're going to stumble daily. We're going to pick ourselves back up, and we're going to do it again. I stumble. I'm sure a lot of you stumble as well. I stumble a lot. There are some days where I fall flat on my face, and I'm going to pick myself up and do it again. So I have confidence in Coach Snyder, and I think that this is going to be a good fit for him, and I'm excited to see what happens at Shawnee State. Give him an opportunity to put his fingerprints on a program and really lay the foundation. And it might surprise you. We might be talking about Shawnee State football being really good over the next few years once that program gets going. So, again, we'll get the text line going, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Text line, rest of the way on today's edition of The Drive.
Injured in a fall? Warner Law Offices is now here for you in Huntington on 4th Avenue across from the courthouse. Personal, local, decades of experience.
Call 345-6789.
Metro Community Federal Credit Union now brings you all the tech that big banks have, but still has that personal touch of a member-owned community credit union. Apple Pay? Got it. Digital wallet? Yep. Message pay by text, online loan payments, even chatting with a real person, not a bot. Open accounts, sign documents, and manage your money all online. It's the big bank tech you need from the local community-minded credit union you trust. Metro Community FCU. Visit metrocommunityfcu.com today.
Looking for midweek fun? Head to Frank's Place, where every night's a party. Wednesdays are full of brains and brews with trivia night. Grab your crew and show off what you know. Thursdays, crank it up with Singo Bingo. Music meets bingo for prizes and laughs. Then Fridays, we hand you the mic for karaoke night. Sing your heart out and start your weekend right. The fun never stops at Frank's Place. Great drinks, great friends, and good times. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check them out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Cold weather's on its way, and what do you want on those cold, chilly evenings? A warm blanket and a hot cup of cocoa. Well, you know who else wants the same comfort? Mice. Messy, uninvited guests. They sneak in and leave droppings, chew through your food and packages. Don't let mice take over your home this fall and winter. Call K&B Pest Control. We will kill for your business. Call today, 304-523-4281.
When I was little, I didn't talk for a long time. I liked things to always be the same. Anything new or different would scare and upset me. I was very sensitive to lights and sounds. It was almost like I had bigger eyes and ears than everyone else. So I built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. I didn't like looking people in the eye. It made me feel uncomfortable. I'd throw big tantrums over little things like when my socks didn't match. Sometimes I'd do the same things over and over. Until one day, I found out I had autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I learned how to live with it better.
You can see signs of autism in children as young as 18 months. Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Kelly Clarkson, and I've toured the country dozens of times, and there's one thing every state has in common: childhood hunger. The sad truth is that 17 million kids don't know where their next meal is coming from, or if it's even coming at all. Yet there are billions of pounds of surplus food around the country at farms and warehouses that could help end this injustice. But all that food is useless if it doesn't get where it needs to go. That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks gathers surplus food and gets it to hungry kids before it goes to waste. But they can't do it without your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank. Find out how at feedingamerica.org. Together we can solve hunger. Together we're Feeding America.
To help solve hunger in your community and to find your local food bank, visit feedingamerica.org. That's feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
You wanted to be a teacher when you were little, but as you grew up, things changed. Teaching just didn't seem like the best option anymore, so you decided to become something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Interesting and innovative things are happening in teaching today, so it's time to put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Find out how you can make more at teach.org. Make more. Teach. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Follow at Paul Swann on X for Marshall sports updates and more.
We continue with this Monday edition of Your Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Our text line is 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Let's go back to the text line. Earlier, we were speaking with new head football coach of Shawnee State, Mark Snyder. He's going to be the first ever coach for the program, which is set to take the field in 2028. Texter earlier said that was terrible. Texter now says, Paul, agreed, Coach Snyder should do well at Shawnee. I don't for 1 minute believe that all his years with Big Ten programs did not enable him to share knowledge with his players. Yeah, he made mistakes along the way, but so did Nick Saban. I appreciate the thoughts. Thank you for the text. I agree 100%. We all make mistakes. I make mistakes on a daily basis, and I have gotten to that point in my life where I don't accept that I make mistakes, but I realize that I do make mistakes. I am human, and I try to learn from those mistakes, and I try to do better. You know, some days I succeed, some days I don't. And at a program like Shawnee State, I think he can succeed. I think he can thrive. I think he can impart knowledge. I think he can develop young players. He can offer opportunities. There's a lot of positives and a lot of pluses to like about having a program at Shawnee State. Of course, it's going to be great for the community. Program does well. I'm sure the community will come out and support it. It's going to be great for local high school kids that maybe aren't, I don't want to say Division I caliber, but maybe they don't get the opportunity because the transfer portal is taking up those spots. A lot of teams are looking for kids to come in through the transfer portal, and so they're looking to upgrade because they're looking for, I guess, a body of work. Okay, they were successful here, so we can bring them in. They can be successful here, or we can get an upgrade here. This is an opportunity for kids to kind of show themselves, get better, and then maybe they make it on to a Division I roster somewhere. That's the thing. More opportunities. And you go to a place like Shawnee State, you get to stay close to home if you're local, and you get to compete in a conference like the Mountain East that has become a mainstay in all conversations at the Division II level. It's exceeded probably all expectations. And now you add Shawnee State, you are in Ohio a lot more. And you're going to have a little bit more of a crossover between schools that are at probably the upper reaches of the league to more of the southern part of the league. And it's going to be a connection for us because now we have more of a reason to talk about the Mountain East because we've got Shawnee State, so we have a connection there. And you never know, there might be that high school standout that we follow, one of our local teams that goes to Shawnee State, does well. And I think that's going to be a positive right there. I mean, that's one thing that I've learned over the years. Parents love hearing about their kids. In the newspaper, on the radio, the video stream, they love hearing about their kids. And if you're talking about their kids, they're excited. Now, if you're saying something that the parents don't like, you're going to hear about that too. And that's another story altogether. So that's why I kind of try to hold back. I never really say anything about high school kids, any performances there. I'm not one of those that are going to criticize high school kids. I know there are some that do. I'm not one of them. But when you get to the college level, you've got an opportunity to maybe show yourself a little bit more, prove that you belong to the Division I program. If that's your dream, that's your goal, you can always work your way onto a roster. The transfer portal sort of resets that every year, so you can be somewhere one year, you can be somewhere the next year, and you can move up if you're able to progress, or maybe you're a kid that maybe there wasn't a spot for you at Marshall University, so you go to Shawnee State, you do well there, kind of show that, hey, you might have some value. Transfer portal opens up. There's an opportunity for you. There's some positives to this, a lot of it. The other thing is I can only imagine how stressful it is at certain levels for coaches. And I'm not saying there's never going to be pressure or stress, but could you imagine you're coaching at Shawnee State, and if you're doing a good job, you don't have to worry about maybe the fan base or the alumni coming after you, just completely not happy with you. You're building a program from the ground up, so you get a lot of room to grow, and you also get an opportunity to maybe develop a program instead of, okay, I got to come in and I got to make sure we don't make it worse than what it is. When you start up a program, it only gets better. You come from zero to better. And I don't know about you, but I feel like that's a good landing spot for anyone, that there's going to be a lot of hard work and a lot of energy put into it. But at the end of the day, I don't know if you have to worry so much about the noise at Division II, most Division II programs, than you would say at a Division I program, because it's completely different. You don't have that NIL money to worry about. You don't have those situations that might hold you back, or you don't have you got to win now mentality. I mean, it's already a win for Shawnee State because you're going to put together a football program that's going to increase enrollment. That's what a lot of these programs are doing when they add. We talked to the folks at Rio Grande. They're adding. What does it do? It adds to the enrollment as well. It adds more. It attracts more students. And, of course, it's another opportunity to bring to your campus future alumni if they stay the entire time. Grow your alumni base. That's the big thing always, including Marshall, is you got to grow the alumni base. You got to grow by increased enrollment, larger graduation numbers, able to make sure that the alumni feel like they're a part of the university. They continue to be a part of the university. They feel welcome, not that you're just using them or you're just calling them up and saying, hey, we need some money here. Yeah, they want to give back. They want to be invested. They want to be a part of it. And that's another reason why you see programs starting to pop up a little bit more, because now you're going to have, over the years, you're going to have people that maybe will invest back into Shawnee State. Same thing at Marshall University. And I love the direction that the university is taking, going and creating programs that didn't exist before. Not looking at what you don't have compared to other schools, looking at where do we need to be? Where can we be the best? And with all of that, one more from the text line. Texter says, I don't like to be negative or critical. Mark Snyder is where he belongs. I appreciate that text. I appreciate the thoughts. I mean, I don't think it's negative or critical. Some people belong at a different level. It's not because they're not capable. It's just that it's the right fit. You got to find the right fit. And it's not a question of your ability or your capabilities. It's where do you fit? What works for you? And for some, Division II level is perfect. It's different than a Division I level. And it's not a knock or slight on anybody. They still got to play football. He's still got to win. And with that said, have a great night, everyone.
WRBC Huntington, W227BS Huntington, your flagship home of the Marshall Thundering Herd and The Drive with Paul Swann, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.